Beyond Light kicks off the next trilogy of stories that we're trying to tell with Destiny.
Players are going to go on a journey to discover the true nature of light and dark.
It's the beginning of players learning more about the darkness, and in fact going so far as to wield it.
Hang on. I'm just going to point out that Luke Smith's beard game,
And in fact going
straight on point. Look at that.
so far as to wield it.
It's about leaving comfort and safety behind, walking a different road than one that you may have believed you were destined for.
What makes something bad? What makes darkness dark?
Who's right? Who wasn't? How are those learnings going to change the characters that you have gotten to know over the last 6 years?
Okay. Just that little bit right there of her going invisible. For her not to be a light wielder, she sure has a lot of tricks. And of course, good old Drifter. Poor guy.
Beyond Light's really the beginning of a new adventure. Guardians, for the longest time, have been bathed in the light, sort of this altruistic force fighting back evil. And now we're starting to move into that gray area between the light and dark.
If the darkness reaches out, we must reach back.
I will not sanction this.
The funny part about this, he probably recorded this in his closet. I love you, Lance.
Season of Arrivals, the Vanguard is divided. You have some characters telling you, you know, we should fight these ships, and we have other characters who are saying, no, 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 we should find out what they want. We should get to know them and understand more. But it definitely comes to a head.
This next year in Destiny is really just about how all the different characters and factions are reacting to these disappeared destinations and what that means.
Okay, since when? We got Cabal, which obviously started the Red War. We got Mr. Grumpy Pants, Osiris, and Zuzuvela. It must be something really bad, especially if you've involved the ball with it.
As the pyramids have arrived in our system, not for the first time, but for the second time.
We're going to see the return of a character who's been absent for a pretty long time in The Stranger, and boy, does she have a lot to say, and she has a lot of time to explain.
When I know more, you'll know more.
She has shown up to encourage us to take on the darkness, and the only way to truly stop it.
But that not to be a ghost, that's a pretty cool little trick. I mean, come on, Bungie, we need something like this.
Is to work with it.
And here comes our guardian, right on time.
Also, another thing to note with the collector's edition, this is Elsie Bray, or Elizabeth Bray, rather. Elsie for short.
Why did the darkness invite us here?
He said more than 3 words in a sentence. Holy crap.
Europa is literally like a time capsule.
Europa is huge.
Killer destination, freezing cold.
Desolate.
Some of the most beautiful spaces I've ever seen in a video game.
There was a lot built on Europa during the Golden Age, and a lot of that was built underground.
During the Golden Age. True. By Clovis Bray.
Clovis Bray had some research facilities there. really pushing the limits of technology and innovation there, maybe stepping into some things that we shouldn't have.
Under the ice, all kinds of secrets.
I'm so excited for what players are going to find.
The storm on Europa was actually something we've wanted to do for a long time.
Now, if it's just on a rotation, speaking of the storm, if it's just on a rotation, kind of like the Dreaming City, it was on a rotation, not going to be that cool. However, if it's just barely snowing, then all of a sudden, 2 seconds later, it's blizzard, that's going to be cool.
We wanted it to feel harsh.
The weather system is so awesome. Like, you're walking through an open space and all.
I got some some Assassin's Creed 3 vibes right here.
Is so awesome. Like, you're walking.
Look at that. I mean, it's not as beautiful as, say, Red Dead Redemption 2, but still pretty.
Through an open space and all of a sudden things start happening.
Coming across like Fallen or Vex for the first time.
Happening.
Nameless Midnight, anyone?
Coming across like Fallen or Vex for the first time. You can barely make out the glow in their eyes.
The sound of the wind, the ice will change based on what the weather is looking like. You'll actually feel every piece of the environment changing around you to match the storm.
Okay, hang on, let me back this up a little. She is a pirate. Look at that. The only thing she's missing is an eye patch and a Luden's throat lozenge.
Europa itself is a pretty foreboding place. Aramis is there in advance of us, and she set up a forward base. She has lieutenants who have gotten their hands on stasis, gotten their hands on the darkness, and they're learning to wield it.
One by one, we will rise again.
And so I think her motivations are really interesting too.
Today, we begin breaking free from our chains.
Aramis really challenges a lot of the ways that we think about light and darkness. She's going to make you think about your relationship with the Traveler.
She's a compelling leader, and she has a vision. And especially after the collapse of their society, people, I think, the Fallen wanted someone to follow.
Is the light going to be enough? I think we've seen that we need some new tools to fight our enemies with. Maybe it's time to fight fire with fire, or ice with ice.
Stasis.
Dude looking like he's in World War I. Got his pack. Oh, looks good.
This is, not just a set of new supers, but it's a new damage type. We've got Solar, Void, Arc, and now we've got Stasis.
The idea for
now, if you were to have like Solar, Void, and Arc, did Stasis? Oh. Orgasm.
Stasis all really came back from the gameplay idea of freezing someone.
That was kind of the theme that everyone kind of rallied behind. You know, Dima's an amazing concept artist, had some images that really kind of put us on the right path.
What really was landing with that was the more crystalline notion. So when we say cosmic ice, that's kind of where the cosmic comes in.
You weren't calling it ice at all. Don't lie. You called it stasis.
Once he freezes solid, I'm able to hit him again and just shatter him in pieces.
The pieces break apart and explode in those sharp shards that can damage you. So all of that kind of came together when we landed on that theme.
stasis is going to not only
Is that a boomerang or an axe? Can't tell.
change the way that you can attack or approach combat, there's also some really great ways that you can upgrade it.
Then you start getting into like the more interesting parts, things that we're calling aspects and fragments, which are additional ways to modify your subclass. Aspects are a little bit more potent.
Okay, let's back this up. Take a look.
Combat, there's also some really great ways that you can upgrade it.
Then you start getting into like the more interesting parts, things that we're calling aspects and fragments, which are additional ways.
Alright. Oh, that's cool. Clear bolts. Creates a small amount of grenade on seekers that track and freeze. So it's like handheld supernova. Sweet.
To modify your subclass.
Frost pulse. Like a pulse grenade, I guess. Kinda, but it's a rift. I wonder if you can combine this with like a healing rift. That'd be cool. Especially like in Crown, where you constantly have ads running at you while you're doing boss damage. Food for thought.
Aspects are a little bit more potent, and then the fragments are the things.
Same thing. Look at that build. That's terrible. Gotta get those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. Come on, bro.
Things that are class agnostic.
Of Hedron. It takes away from his strength. Well, with a warlock, you don't have to work. As of right now, that could completely change. Kind of like resilience, non-factor right now, but could change.
But depending on what your class is, and depending on
of Theaters. That's cool.
what your aspects are and how you want to play, you're probably going to be starting to select different ones in there. This is just the beginning for Stasis. We're going to continue to expand on it. We're just excited for players to get their hands on this.
When we're creating a new palette like Stasis, we do what we call a source jam. Everyone on the team blocks out about a week where we can say, okay.
Whoa.
When we're creating a new palette like Stasis, we do what we
continue to expand on it. We're just excited for players to get their hands on this.
When we're creating a new palette like Stasis, we do what we call a source jam.
Wow.
Everyone on the team blocks out about a week where we can say, okay, you're going to go out into the world, microphone, recorder, record anything that reminds you of cosmic ice. That gives us the palette that we can build the eventual
I'm digging that hat. For real.
Sounds out of.
I found personally that the best way to do it was at night. but doing screams, screeches, and blood-curdling yells is a little scary at night. Then I had a really rumbly stomach, and that also was recorded. There was also a breast pump. Yep.
Oh, that's the new exotic snapper.
So a breast pump.
Nope, that's the new exotic snapper. Go by the arc energy running. Really good.
You have to make use of what you got.
New exotic snapper on a hunter. You can obviously there's the new exotic whatever. The exotic Titan arms gives you the build with the chainsaw sword. No time to explain. Warlock Scout probably has the thorn glove.
In Beyond Light, we have new exotic weapons for you. No Time to Explain is coming back. Instead of just being the gun that refills your magazine when you land precision hits, you actually get a little time portal, and it starts spinning.
Okay. Now, the whole time portal idea, speculated, not proven, that it comes from a different timeline. Fires for you while you read. Obviously, two, No Time to Explain. This one's trapped under the ice. The other one, if you remember, was given to us by Elsie Bray at the end of the Destiny 1 campaign.
Spitting out rounds alongside you. You can actually have that on top of the Arc Soul, so you can be your own little mini firing squad you build for it.
That's awesome. Arc Soul, No Time to Explain, emote.
Another one we have is the Lament. It uses up your sword's energy to give yourself a new combo that ends up in a big spinning slash. Probably the largest selling point for a lot of people is that it slices right through barrier champions.
I think the largest draw for most people is actually going to be the fact that it is a chainsaw sword.
Maybe.
Yeah. For Beyond
Chainsaw sword.
Light, we really wanted to create exotic armor pieces that formed a key part of your build around which all the other parts of your build could revolve.
Alright, let's go back.
For Beyond Light, we really wanted to create exotic armor pieces that formed a key part of your build.
Okay, that's ugly. Crap. Bungo, why you always give the Titans the ugly stuff, bro? I don't know what this is. This is different. The ugly, but different. And Glad's gonna be happy. That's obviously
Build around which all the other parts of your build could revolve. For example, the Titan gets the Icefall Mantle, which is a set of exotic arms that looks like it is crafted from Golden Age tech. When you activate it, you sort of slam your arms down, create a burst of stasis energy, and then you cover yourself in an overshield.
That's gonna be so good in PvP. Man. Oh, one-eye mask. I don't have anything on bet that it's gonna be so OP.
The Warlock exotic is Necrotic Grip. If you are facing a wave of thralls running at you, you can nail them with your melee attack, and it starts to burst and sort of cascade through the whole.
I wonder if that works in Iron Banner as well. You know, like when you finally run out of primary ammo and you obviously don't have any special, so you melee each other. I wonder if that works.
Whole group.
There's a lot there for newcomers coming in too. If you've got a friend who
There hits you in the feels, bro.
hasn't tried it out, it's a really great time to jump in on New Light, that entry experience for free players.
Last year, when New Light launched, we brought back a small portion of the Cosmodrome. This year, we're bringing back a much larger portion of the destination.
So much time spent going here to here.
It takes some of the experiences that started with original Destiny 1, but puts them and stitches them together in a different way and adds new things and tells a different story.
What you're going to meet in this new opening experience is a character with not one, but two names from Fast and the Furious, Shah Han.
Thank the light. I didn't
That's not Aldred.
think we had other Guardians on patrol here.
What I love about the Cosmodrome is it feels like Destiny distilled.
Man, missile.
Season of the Hunt picks up where Arrivals left off.
Season of the Hunt.
Other forces are taking advantage of the darkness to make their move forward, including Xivu Arath, a sister of Oryx.
Hey, Xivu. It's been so long since anybody said anything about Xivu. The last time we heard anything about her, Dreaming City, maybe? Had a couple forces come through one of the curse weeks. Been like 2 years ago.
And she's taking this opportunity to build up an army, and we're working with Osiris to try to stop her.
Osiris goes out, stumbles across these hive growths that are driving combatants crazy.
Osiris is in trouble, and of course you're his only hope.
Okay, who was that? That just shoved a knife through that hive. Looks like it's Prince Emo himself. GG's Bungo. GG's. Wow. Prince Emo in the flick.
We warned you it was going to be dangerous down here. Impossible.
Impossible. It is impossible.
We finally catch up to what we saw at the end of Forsaken, where we saw Aldrin being brought back to life by a ghost.
Aldrin, who now refers to himself as Crow, he doesn't know what he did. The slate's been wiped clean when he was resurrected as a Guardian.
We know what he's done, and we know what he could be capable of doing. So now we're going to spend some time watching him go back and forth. And that's going to question how we look at him, how we look at ourselves, how we look at the light, how we look at darkness.
In season.
Okay, so I wonder if it's going to be a story unfolding for him, just as it putting his past together, figuring out what he's. If so, that's going to be awesome.
At the Hunt, we're partnering with the Crow and Osiris to take down the High Celebrant. It's creating these cryptoliths around the system, and those cryptoliths are attracting Elixian Cabal and corrupting them. So Xivu Arath is essentially corrupting herself and army, and it's our job to put a stop to it.
I'm
Corrupting, not taken. Corrupting.
really excited to see Xivu Arath fleshed out more and to find out more about her relationship with Savathun and what that means for Year 4 of Destiny.
Get your rock off my map.
Savathun has been placing dominoes, and at the end of Year 4, she's going to knock down the dominoes. We're going to see what she's been really up to. And so this year, she's putting the last pieces in place.
Destiny is just a really incredible world. And There are so many stories for us to tell.
We have a lot to look forward to beyond Light, then the Witch Queen, and then Lightfall, and all the seasonal content between. We feel like we've got a really great way to bring people together. Working through COVID and working through some of the other turmoil in the world right now has been really challenging.
I have to admit, I've been pleasantly surprised with how well we've been able to get things done.
We're committed to your characters and your community of players. We want to meet you where you are.
I think the thing that excites me the most about Destiny's future is how much it's rooted in where we come from.
Seeing villains revealed and finding out secrets that we've been hinting at for years.
When I look at the team that we're building and continuing to grow and hire, the new leaders that are coming up in Destiny, that gets me super excited.
Destiny's best days are ahead of us.